Good afternoon and welcome. This is the 30th day of January in the year 2020. Happy New Year to everyone. Um, as a monthly update that we've been doing here at the Township of Muskoka Lakes, first and foremost I want to say those people over the past few months who've been trying to log into our webcasting here at the Township may have had some problems, especially with the live streaming during our council or committee meetings. The recording is working and you can always go back within 48 hours and have a look at those meetings. Our staff are working on the problems with our IT department and we hope to have that resolved in the next 30 to 60 days. Many people have been continuing to ask about what's happening with the spring freshet, with the winter snow, and with our flood update. The province has made a number of concerted efforts to help in this regard. Not as many concrete plans as we would like. They have hired a flood advisor who provided a report that later this fall, or was in the fall. They've also set up a new Muskoka Watershed Advisory Committee. Thankfully, interesting, the advisory committee is actually chaired by a Lake Joe seasonal resident, which is great for Township Muskoka Lakes. Also, the MNRF, Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry, those are the ones in control of our dam structures across our watershed. They are on high alert. There's no question that they don't want to have flooding again this coming spring. I should also say I'm an avid snowmobiler, and right now probably 90% of our trails across Muskoka Lakes are closed. We have not had the snowfall that we've had in prior years, and certainly nowhere near what we had last year. So the snowpack, which contributes to a spring runoff, is extremely low. So at this particular point, no one's sounding the alarm based on lake levels. Snow levels are super light, so hopefully all is good. We'll have more information in the next 30 days on this topic. A couple of other things going on here. Number one, the Township of Muskoka Lakes is going through an official plan review. We're updating that. It's the overarching planning document that guides all development throughout the Township of Muskoka Lakes. We've had a couple of meetings already. There's going to be more planning meetings coming this coming summer. Check our website to be able to get more information on the next public meeting. We also have a new strategic plan that's going in place, and the strategic plan is council's direction, with public input obviously, to staff. And our staff then have their marching orders. This is a 4-year document that we're putting in place right now, so it will actually also bridge this term of council to the new term of council. We're looking forward to that. The strategic plan should be done in the next probably 60 to 90 days. We had a full day working session with our own senior management staff and all of council just earlier this week. One thing that I do need to comment on, many people heard some issues about our bin sites, our solid waste across Muskoka. The District of Muskoka manages 88 bin sites. In Muskoka Lakes, there are 21 in specific that we manage here. The Ministry of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, the MECP, issued an order this summer that within 4 years, all of these unmanned bin sites must be closed. The issue is illegal dumping, contractors just dumping and utilizing them to put garbage outside. They attract bears. There is contaminated materials within the recycling, which end up going back into the landfill. And we also don't control at this point at an unmanned site how many bags of garbage, what's really going in there. People are throwing old batteries in there. So the ministry has said you need to eliminate these. They've identified a number of super high risk sites. That number was about 30. In Muskoka Lakes, that number was about 8. We've worked with them over the past couple months. There are 2 very high risk sites specifically in the Township of Muskoka Lakes that we're working with the MECP on to be able to push back, but 2 of them may have to close. I don't have all the details. This is truly changing daily and weekly right now. The best advice I can give you is to check a new website called engagemuskoka.ca. engagemuskoka.ca. Register yourself. If you utilize one of the bin sites for your island property or road access property that have a bin at the end of your road, please register at Engage Muskoka, because your site may be closing. Some will have to close within 4 years, but there are a couple that may have to be closed this year. We're looking at a number of alternatives to be able to deliver service, to be able to pick up your garbage, so to speak. but those alternatives are not yet in place, and again, it's a work in process. The other thing I want to talk about is Manette. Our Cleveland's House, JW Marriott, and Legacy properties in the area of Manette. 2 years ago, we put an interim control bylaw in place that stopped all development. That will be expiring this spring, but the past year and a half, we've had a Manette working committee that has basically been understanding what development should and shouldn't happen in Manette to make sure that we have responsible development. We've had a new property owner also in the last 12 months in Manette that is highly focused on a responsible development. The individual actually brought the property because he did not appreciate what was being developed there. We're taking the results of our Manette Steering Committee. We are working with the key stakeholders right now within the village of Manette, and we will be issuing shortly, probably in the next 3 to 4 months, an official plan amendment to update the policies about what can and can't be built within Manette. This is again an ongoing process, but we are going to be working very closely with the owners of the property and the residents and all the stakeholders in Manette to make sure we have responsible development to protect our lakes. A final word right now is that of bubblers. The ice is in on all of our big lakes, and many people choose to bubble and create the water open in front of their docks and boathouses. Over bubbling is a massive concern. The deer cannot access the ice, the bubblers can join from cottage to cottage, and people cannot access the ice in the wintertime for ice fishing or snowmobiling oftentimes. It's also a hazard, obviously, as we're creating open water in the ice. People have been marking their bubblers with red lights for safety. I'm going to encourage everyone right now to do away with the red lights. A red light at nighttime can be confused with the tail light of a snowmobile. And if you're driving across the lake and I see red, I may be following somebody right into a bubbler, so to speak. The universal color for safety at airports, on our snow plows, is blue. Please, if you can talk to your property manager or come up yourself, we are encouraging you to change your red lights and utilize blue bubbler lights going forward. Thank you. Look for my next update in 30 days after our next round of council. Have a great day.